Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
I did tweet this out the other day. The end seems to be near, right? But why? It seems to me like the SEC or the case, right, is coming to an end very near. Number one, we see right here from Philan Law, breaking below are the two legal memos that have now been unsealed. So there we go, guys. Now we see right here the conclusion of these now public 2012 memos is clear. XRP do not constitute securities. Wow. Look at that, guys. Again, the case is basically done and over with, right? And it came out today. The fact that Ripple had the foresight to seek legal advice from a prominent firm in 2012 in the absence of clear case law, and 5 years before the SEC even started talking about digital assets, should be applauded. So basically, we see XRP do not or does not constitute securities. If we go to the next tweet from Baba Cooks, remember this day, February 18, 2022, exact day Howard Moon warned you done, exact day Poole warned you done, exact weekend of Baba timeline. The case now proves to all XRP is not a security. It's a shame so many are blind. Lives will be changed forever in the blink of an eye. Guys, basically came out today that they basically stated, right, XRP is not a security. And where is it? Exactly on this specific date. This is how we can't make these things up. This is how the case is already pre-planned ahead of time, guys. Even though there's all these shenanigans stuff happening, we know what's taking place from Bill. So now the SEC says that not only was Hinman's speech used by SEC staff to provide market guidance, but that the SEC regulations could be relied on as representing the views of the SEC, so not a personal opinion, a moving feast, right? So now we know there are three types of speeches in the view of the SEC: mere personal opinions, views of an entire division of the SEC, and the SEC's formal agency's position. So again, guys, this is how it's actually crazy of what's happening, right, with this whole case. I think they're just making stuff as they go along with it, right? Now, BC backers, haven't had any time to read these documents yet, but I see XRP price moving upward ever since they were released within the last hour. Interesting, right? So let me let you guys in on a secret. This is what basically happens every time, guys. Listen very carefully. When the chart seems to be ready, right, there's usually news that comes out that supports the price of XRP moving to a certain direction. Do we see how it plays out, guys? If we go back here, same with these types of moves. The XRP chart is ready, but they just need some catalyst, right, to show, hey, that's what happens. Now listen to this from Bank XRP. The Ripple lawsuit, as well as its vision for what crypto regulations should look like.
And not just for Ripple, but for the thousands of investors who own the XRP token. Joining us now is former chair of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission and author of Crypto Dad, Chris Giancarlo, along with, of course, our very own Charlie Gasparino. Chris, you said publicly you don't think XRP should be regulated as security. So why is the SEC so adamant about this?
It's great to be with you, Cheryl. Thanks very much, Charlie. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Chris.
You had Chairman Gensler on just, I think, a few days ago, and he made it very clear he wasn't going to comment on an ongoing enforcement matter. The same applies to former chairman as much as it does to current chairman. What I would say is, before the SEC launched its enforcement action against XRP and Ripple, I penned an op-ed along with my colleagues from Rookie Farm Gallagher in an international law review applying the same approach we would have taken when I was at the CFTC to analyze XRP under that so-called Howey test. And we came to the conclusion in that 2020 article that it wasn't a security, and I stand behind that article today. But as for commenting on that specific action, once it's in front of the court, it's not for me as a former chair to handicap how the judge may rule in this case.
Well, Chris, this case, the Ether is not before the court right now. At least it's before the court of public opinion whether it is a security. But let's unpack this a little bit. Gary Gensler has consistently sidestepped the question if XRP is a security, because remember, they did some of the similar things they did on Ether, which is sell the token to help build out their platform, thus making an investment in the SEC's view, obviously not your view. Then why isn't Ether a security? Because they did an ICO to help out at some point build the Ethereum blockchain. So I guess my question to you, Chris, is if this SEC wins this case, does Gensler have to go back in time and basically consider Ether a security and ding the Ethereum people?
Well, it's the right question to ask, Charlie. And in my book, I talk about our analysis and our work with the SEC back in 2019 when I was chair of the CFTC and Jay Clayton was at the SEC, and our work looking at Ethereum. And it was the Ethereum precedent that we looked at in 2020 after I left the commission in coming to the conclusion that XRP is not a security. So the analogy is certainly there, the precedent is there, and I think depending on how this case comes out, it could be very challenging for the way Ethereum is considered.
So you think Gensler could win the case if he wins this one against Ethereum?
Again, I don't want to handicap what the SEC might do or not. I just, as a legal precedent, it would be challenging.
Yeah, interesting. Also, the fact that he doesn't comment on it is very sounds like he's thinking about it. The other thing I have to ask you is, I'm sorry, did I interrupt you?
No, I was going to say, look, in all fairness, there are good reasons why chairs and former chairs shouldn't comment on ongoing cases. It could do damage.
But Ethereum is not an ongoing case unless it is.
No, look, my view is Ethereum falls on the CFTC side of the ledger as a commodity, and that was borne out.
But Chris, he won't go there, which makes you think he is investigating. And I'd like to just turn this a little bit. Why is the SEC on your turf or your old turf? I mean, it sounds like all we're talking about is the SEC going into these cryptocurrencies when you guys are at least legally, the made regular. You're the ones who are supposed to figure out whether it's a commodity or security. You've obviously ruled that you thought XRP was a commodity, at least intellectually you believe that. What does the SEC do? Is this like a power grab by Gensler?
Well, and Charlie, you've been around Washington long enough. You know that Washington is just a series of turfs and turf battles. That was one of the things that Jay Clayton and I really tried to put an end to when we were there. And I don't think the cooperation between the CFTC and the SEC has ever been as good as it was during our terms there. And I really recommend to my successors that they try to harmonize these things internally and not publicly.
Well, that is a real, before I turn this over to Cheryl, because she has an answer, she wants to ask you a question, that's a really diplomatic way to say Gensler is making a power grab, but I won't, or a turf grab, but anyway, go for it.
I didn't interview him. Maybe we go there. Not my show. But I do want to ask you about just regulation in general. I mean, I think the biggest question for the novice crypto investor is what's the regulatory environment going to be for cryptocurrencies? I think there's still a lot of fear out there.
Absolutely, Cheryl. We have to start getting this right. This is not a novelty anymore. This is the future of finance. This is the future of money. This is going to affect the role of the dollar. It's going to affect the standing of American banks in the global financial markets. We have to start taking this seriously. And earlier this week,
and Chris, I'm going to just ask you this. We do have to take it seriously, but is the current regulatory environment up for it, or do we have to find something else, like create something else?
Yeah. Well, Charlie, earlier this week I put out actually fundamental principles for what we need to do. And the first step is this needs to move to Congress. This is not for the Biden administration, Trump administration, some other administration to willy-nilly change it every 4 years or every 8 years. We need Congress to step in, and in a bipartisan, and it must be bipartisan so it stands the test of time, in a bipartisan manner, establish a regime to regulate this new development.
There's so much there.
Fundamental.
So much there. You have to come back and talk more about this. Chris Giancarlo, of course, thank you. Charlie Gasparino, as always.
Thanks,
Thank
Chris.
you. Yeah.
So there we go, guys. I mean, regulations are definitely up on the horizon. We just gotta be prepared for whenever that comes, right? We don't know when, but it does seem we are very near, to say the least. Now, if you go to Guns and XRP's tweet, a world-class team like Ripple has here plus many more. If you go against them, then you better be well prepared. They have been working with regulations from the very beginning. That's the funny part. Bargolinghouse said the Ripple teams basically stated that we used to go talk to the SEC literally every weekend, right? Since creation, basically. And now the SEC comes after Ripple and XRP. So something doesn't add up. Brandon is tweet out. So basically, what's going to take is the executive order going to be good or bad, right? If you go down here, depends on what you hold. Environmentally friendly cryptos ISO 222 about to take their rightful spots. Again, look at this. My Build Back Better agenda includes the largest investment to combat climate change in US history. Again, guys, look at that. It's all about lower energy costs for America and all of these things, right? The climate, the greener agenda, basically, the greener narrative, guys. The greener economy. We know what's taking place.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.